Hey, and welcome to the Odd Gaming Podcast again. I'm Stuart, joined as always is Ed. Ed, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing really good. I am awesome. I like the way
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said odd. That's good. That's good
Ah,
stuff.
that's it. I mean, we don't know what Odd Gaming Podcast is. That's a different podcast for a different time. We are the Odd Gaming Podcast. So, I mean, we'll jump right into it. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out what we're going to talk about for a good chunk of stuff before we get to our main episode topic. But Tears of the Kingdom. Life has not been the same for the last 5 days. That's all we've been
Nope.
playing, all we've been doing, all I've been watching, all I've been thinking about. Ed, tell me about your experience.
It is the best thing since sliced bread, and sliced bread is pretty amazing. Yeah, it's been awesome. I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to. My mom was in town. And
Take
awesome.
care of the moms.
Yeah, yeah, had to
Shout
go
out
out.
to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day.
To all the moms. Happy Mother's Day. We wouldn't be here without you, literally. Um,
Very true. Very true.
But yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there that are listening that are gamers. But yeah, I didn't get to play that much because she was in town. But whenever I had some downtime, that is what I did. Amazing game. Breath of the Wild was amazing, but this to me makes Breath of the Wild seem like such a tiny game, and I haven't even really gotten that far in the game. I don't know where you're at in the game, but I'm literally have done nothing. I've just been getting sidetracked, hitting up lots of shrines and
Oh,
exploring, and nothing's getting done, and it's been amazing. So yeah, I'm so excited to just continue playing and see what the story is going to bring. Just all the things that you can do as far as like creating. I'm really excited to test that out and just continue with that. But what about you? There's more things I'll think about, but yeah, what about you? How's the game been treating you?
it's incredible. I mean, it's went to the midnight release. Both of us did. We don't live in the same city, but we both went. We were on the phone, texting, calling, taking pictures, taking videos. Had a great time. It's been a long time since either one of us has gone to a midnight release. So a lot of fun. Really cool to see like the physical gaming is still alive. People still want it. There's still a market for it, which is really really cool to see.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the game, I played a couple hours that night, and I've probably put, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 hours into it at this point. Maybe a little bit more, a little less, but just same thing, exploring. I've tried to go into the first area, but I keep getting distracted by shrines that are way off in the distance, or things I can build, or things I can find, or an enemy that I see that has a really cool weapon that I want to take. I mean, there's so many things. The game is absolutely massive. It is definitely a game that we're going to be playing for a long period of time.
Mhm.
So many things that are going to, happen to it. People are discovering some crazy, crazy things, and some really funny things out there. But yeah, the game's incredible. I don't know how they made a game like this, how they made a game like this on the Nintendo Switch, run and look as good as it does.
Oh yeah, it runs so smooth. It's
Mhm.
like it's unbelievable. It's such a huge world, but there's really like as far as loading screens go, really not that long, which is
No.
awesome. It's just such a smooth game, and like I said, it blows me away just like
Mhm.
all the detail that they put into that game. Um, and I'm just so excited. Like right now, I have Zelda. It's paused in the background right now. It's still on my
Oh yeah,
TV, but it's just paused. And when we're done with this, I'm probably gonna play some more Zelda. Maybe I'll finally make it to my first area for the main quest, but we'll see.
you
We'll see
won't.
what
You
happens.
won't.
Yeah, more than likely I won't. Like I've
Yeah,
been telling myself, okay, Ed, you're gonna go here,
you're gonna go here.
and then
I tried that, and then I got distracted still. So
oh
good
yeah,
luck.
yeah, no, I literally there's a shrine that I'm going to right now. And I was like, ooh, a shrine. I'm gonna mark it so I don't forget in case I get distracted. The moment I said that, a second later I see a cave and I'm like, oh, cave, I'm going in the cave. Um,
Exactly.
but it was worth going in the cave because I did find a really cool shirt that keeps you warm. So
There you
now I
go.
can venture more into colder areas and not freeze to death.
That's
So
good to have.
that, yeah, yeah.
Those chili peppers don't do the trick all the time.
Oh no. Oh, as far as with because you can create a bunch of things. What's the most unique weapon that you've created?
Man, I'm not a super creative person, so I haven't like explored a bunch of crazy things just yet. I've definitely found issues, and I've definitely broken some really nice weapons by trying to fuse it to things that I shouldn't. Like I was trying to get through a shrine without any spoilers or anything, and there were some fans, and I hooked the fan up to my shield, and I jumped on it and broke my like most powerful shield within 2 jumps.
That sucks.
And I just found it literally one room before that. I put the fan on there and I'm like, this is how I'm going to get up. And I do it. And then it's like, it's damaged. And then I jumped one more time accidentally and it broke. So I've done that. I've also strapped rockets onto one of these platforms that you can move around and shot myself all the way straight up and then squished myself in between another one that was above me and then died.
Nice. Yeah, no,
So most of my creations have been absolutely terrible and have usually resulted in my death.
yeah, that sounds about right. That's me.
Yeah.
I'd say for me I don't even know if it's a unique creative because it killed me, but I just wanted to know, and I was like, can I do it? Yes, you definitely can. I decided to fuse a weapon with an explosive barrel, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this seems like a great idea. Explosive barrel, I wonder if it'll kill me if I hit an enemy. It definitely does. Yeah. Don't fuse your weapon with an explosive barrel unless I guess you have a bunch of hearts and really good armor because it just goes boom and then you die. Um,
Oh, yeah.
so I've had that fail. I've had fails of trying to work contraptions and then I fall to my death. Or,
Mhm.
there's I think I tried getting into a hot air balloon and the hot air balloon left without me and I was still on the ground.
Yep.
I remember you told me you had a fell with a boat.
I
Um,
did. I did. It was like one of the first ones that you do. I built it and I got it all nice and perfect, spent time on it. Still learning the mechanics at the time, so it took me a little longer. Got it built, got it put into the water, starts to go. The sail, catches the wind and starts to go off. I jump, end up going into the water underneath the boat, and the boat goes all the way away, and I can't grab it. So then I had to scrounge around to find other things to create a new boat and finally got my way over there. But yeah, that took an extra 15 minutes to do that versus just jumping correctly. So
yeah, it's okay. It'll
yeah,
be
you live and learn in Tears of the
you live
Kingdom.
and learn. Yeah,
It is definitely a relentless game, but I think, and I mean, people are going to be talking about this forever for a long, long, long time. But the abilities they give you, they pretty much give you all the abilities you need to do every shrine in the game to almost conquer everything in the game right off the bat.
oh yeah.
So now you just have to figure out how to use these abilities to figure out these problems. Like I know I have definitely solved shrines the way that they're not intended
Oh,
to be solved,
definitely.
but it's worked. I've found some weird ways of doing things and warping things and throwing things, but it's 100% worked. And I think that's the beauty of the game is everything is possible if you use the right skills and the right stuff.
And
Um,
ascend. Definitely ascend.
Absolutely. I love Ascend. Ascend is by far my favorite ability right now.
Yeah, I've
That is so cool. I have traversed things so fast because of Ascend. It
oh,
is incredible.
oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure like in shrines, I've used ascend in ways you're not supposed to get to certain things, but it works. So I'm like, it
Oh, yeah.
worked. Like I know this is not how it's meant to be, but I really don't
Mhm.
care.
I've
No.
gotten to a point where I'll watch, like, other people do shrines,
Mm-hmm.
after I've done them and to see the way you're supposed to, in quotes, "supposed to do it,"
Mm-hmm.
and I always end up doing it weird, like, "Oh, you need to do this and this and this," and I'm like, I just ascended and then, like, randomly just kinda, like, jumped my way up, and it's like, "Oh, you need to build a bridge and do this," and no, I didn't, and I still passed it, so
Yeah, there
it
you go.
doesn't, it rewards you as long as you get to the other side, it rewards you. It does not, take anything off for not doing it the correct
Yeah.
way.
There's one thing I don't know if I'll ever try it. I thought about it, or I think it was earlier today. I think it would take for freaking ever, but I'm sure maybe someone will do it eventually. I don't know if it's gonna be me, probably not. But I've thought about wondering, like, you can make bridges with, you know, and I don't know how long you can make your bridge, but I've thought like, what if I made a bridge that was long enough, and I can just use it to climb all the way up to the castle in the sky. I wonder if that's possible.
So I
Um,
haven't watched anything on it because I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but I saw a post today about that, and people are building extremely long, massive bridges to traverse really difficult things in the world.
I can believe
So they're
it.
just building these crazy bridges and doing exactly what you just said.
That's awesome. I wonder how
Yep.
long it takes them to build. I built a person. It took me like 15 minutes to figure out how to build the person.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a
Yeah,
great.
didn't the, you make it anatomically correct as well? Anatomically correct?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
yep, it was a boy.
Hey, it happens.
It happens.
It's all good.
And
We all got him.
yeah, we all got him. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. But it took me 15 minutes just to build a to build a human. And I sent you the video, so you know
Oh, it was
exactly what happened
hilarious.
in the video.
It
But
was hilarious.
so I don't know. I have no idea how long it would take people to build really long bridges,
I
but
have no idea. It's crazy, it's insane, but I mean, that game is I don't know how they created and thought of everything about this. Like,
yeah.
just the detail in the game, the thought process behind every single item that's there, every single ability they give you, every single world, every single side quest, like everything works. Everything fits. And just a game that does that and does it so well, but still gives you that freedom to do whatever you want. Really, there's not many games like that that give you that type of freedom and give you the tools to do it
Mhm.
in that way.
Yeah, no, it's so great. Like it's got everything you could want in it. It's got adventure, it's got the survival aspect, and then just, having it gets you thinking. Like you really do have to think, like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get to, point B? What is gonna be the best way? Because there's multiple ways to do it. But it's like figuring out what's gonna be the most easiest easiest way to do it. And there's just a lot that went into that game, and it's
Oh
so
yeah,
cool.
oh
And
they definitely knocked it out of the park.
oh yeah. Also, just because the weapons, like, just because without any spoilers, but just weapons aren't, I guess, exactly what they used to be. So
Hmm.
it's just trying to figure out how you're going to use your weapons and utilize all your weapons, and
Hmm.
making weapons and figuring out how to make them stronger. So that part's fun too.
Absolutely. And that kind of brings us to another thing. I know it's a big controversial thing with Breath of the Wild and a lot of people didn't like it, but the what do you think about the degrading weapons and weapons that break and shields that break? Do you like that feature?
Do I like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. Like it's it is fun having weapons that don't break, but I don't know, it just adds
Mhm.
to it because it causes you to kind of, like I said earlier, to think like, okay, I have a bunch of enemies here. How am I going to beat them? Because I know I have my sword shield. It can only take so much damage, so it just causes you to think, get creative, think out of the box. I'm all for it. It to me, it adds to the game. I think it's a super cool feature, and I have no issues with it. I think it makes the game even more fun. Just because
I
it
agree.
ca yeah, it causes you to think, and it causes you to get creative, like, "Oh, there's a boulder right there. I'm gonna fuse it with my wooden stick and see how far I can get." And
Yeah.
so I think it's awesome.
I 100% agree. I know people don't like it, and I see that point of it, but it's a different take on the Zelda franchise,
Mhm.
and the fact that they've built in this survival aspect and this create aspect, and it adds a whole new mechanic and strategy to the game too.
Oh, yeah.
Of okay, I found these awesome weapons, and the excitement of finding awesome weapons for me is even higher because like
Mhm,
okay, I found a really awesome weapon. Now I found two or three of them. This is really cool. Now you have to strategize on okay, these are weaker enemies. I can use this sword or this weapon or this combination, and if it breaks, it's not a big deal. And then save the other ones for larger bouts of enemies and larger bosses and stuff like that. So it adds a whole new strategy to the game, or a whole new strategy to how you play. And I think introducing in Breath of the Wild, they did a great job with it, and they've
mhm,
even made a better job with it now. The fact that you can even fuse stuff to it and make your weapons that you find even stronger and better,
mhm.
and more durable and everything like that. That even adds a whole new element to what was already a really cool element introducing Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah. So I said I think yeah, people are lots of people aren't gonna like it. Lots of people are, so it's just one of those things. But I think it's awesome, and I'm like I said, I'm excited to continue just exploring and just seeing
Mhm.
what I can come up with as far as
Absolutely.
creating stronger weapons and just creating random things that might help me, might not help me. It just
Oh, it's
it's
all experimenting. I think the
oh
best
yeah,
part is when you try to create a new recipe and it fails and it gives
mhm,
you that jingle, and
yep,
then it, like, gives you that really sad jingle, and then your food burns,
yep,
and then, it looks sad. And
yep.
you're like, "Oh, this would have been good. What are you talking about? Chili peppers, apples, and an acorn isn't gonna be good?" Like, come on.
It sounds good.
Nintendo don't know.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just super cool just the freedom and the creativity that they allow
Mhm.
the player to do in the game. So props to all the developers and all the people that worked on that game. Like they came out with an amazing game. And
Mhm.
it, like I think it more than likely will get game of the year. If it doesn't, I'd honestly be very surprised. But
I don't know what's a contender at this point.
yeah, no,
Everything in my contender list is a remake.
yeah.
So, this being, a sequel, but just a whole new expansive
Hmm.
universe on top of Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I mean, there's some great games coming out later this year that we'll talk about in some future podcasts, but,
Yep.
man, it's gonna be hard to beat this game, and people are gonna be playing this game for a long time. I'm gonna be playing it for a long time. It's definitely one of those games that, it's super rainy outside, and you just need to, like, chill out, or you had a really bad day and you just wanna chill out,
Yep.
and don't do anything in Tears of the Kingdom. Just go around, build stuff, explore, climb. I mean, there's 1,000 things you can do to
Yep.
just enjoy the universe that was created, by Nintendo.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, if you haven't gotten a copy of Tears of the Kingdom, I highly recommend you go pick one up. It's it's worth it. So yeah, Tears of the Kingdom.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be playing it for weeks on end.
Months,
Yeah, months,
while
a while, forever, the rest of the year.
I just can't just dedicate my time to that. I gotta play some other games and,
Oh yeah,
give our opinions on the podcast. So we can't just do Tears of the Kingdom for the rest of 2023. So
yeah,
we're gonna put a ton of time into it, but we're gonna make sure that we explore all the really, really awesome games that are coming out.
yeah.
Um, I will plug there's one I'm excited for that is coming out within the month, and that is finally Diablo 4. I am super excited. That comes out first week of June. I can't wait for that game either. So I'm trying to put as much into Tears of the Kingdom as possible until Diablo 4 comes out.
No, another great game. I never really played much Diablo, so I can't really say much of it. I have played Diablo. I can't remember which Diablo it was. But I know it is a great game. I know you love it. I know lots of people love it. So that is a game that I need to just sit down and play. So that
Diablo 3, pick it up. It's probably super cheap right now. You can even pick it up on a Nintendo Switch.
mhm.
Um, it is, I mean, it is an awesome, awesome game. And if you pick it up on the Switch, it should have all the DLC and everything. And it's just a great, great dungeon crawling game. They've nailed it. Blizzard has done a phenomenal job on it. They take way too long to release stuff, but 10 years is better than a lot of the other things they've taken a while to release. So I can't complain too much. But that's pretty much it for that segment of it. We kind of want to move into our next segment, kind of the main topic of our episode here. Unless you got anything else to add into the Tears of the Kingdom chat before we move on.
Nope. I think we've said enough. I'm sure we'll talk about it more. Maybe probably next podcast. I'm sure we'll be like, hey, did you know what that you can do this or whatever? But no, I've got nothing else besides
Awesome.
awesome game. Go play it if you haven't. It's worth it.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, let's go on to from last week. We did our top three with a couple sprinkled in there. Favorite games from 1990 to 2000. This week, we're going to go over favorite games from 2000 to 2010. We were thinking about this and the amount of games that came out in this era. And I mean, both of us were both in our 30s. So this is an era going from, leaving elementary school, going into college. So the amount of games that we played and the type of games and what we got into, very drastically from the beginning to the end of that decade. So we had a lot of fun kind of coming up with our top three, but I think we did five. So we'll give you a couple extra there, and
Yep.
then definitely some stinkers that snuck their way into 2000 and 2010 that we were hyped for and just let us down. So, Ed, if you want to kick us off with your first favorite game.
Okay, first favorite game that came out earlier. I can't remember exactly when. I know it came out mid early 2000, but I'm gonna go with Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. That was
Yeah.
an incredible game. Um, it was way before Assassin's Creed, and it's just an incredible game, an incredible story. The movie was not great like the game, but
Mhm.
that's a different story. Um, but
Yeah, it was not good at all.
yeah,
That was not a good movie.
yeah, but it's really cool. Like I've always, I don't know, it's just the fact that you're this a prince. It's got a puzzle aspect that's really fun. The fact that you can like rewind time and do all these really cool things. You can parkour, and just
Oh,
the mechanics and what you're able to do, especially around that time when it came out, is just incredible. But it's just amazing storytelling, and it's just one of those games that I don't know. It just really made me fall in love with that genre, with the parkour and just adventure type game,
yeah.
and just it's just such a it's a really fun game.
Absolutely, and I mean, even it holds a test of time.
Mhm.
From even graphic perspective, it still looks good for
Oh,
being
yeah.
a PS2 and GameCube title. It still looks great. The gameplay still runs really well. I think that game is definitely held up. I am definitely sad, especially I didn't play a lot of Prince of Persia games, so sad for the people who did that the franchise just kind of died. I
Yeah.
mean, you had that remake in what, 07, 08, and then after that, it just fizzled out.
Yeah.
And I think they had something going for it for sure.
Oh, yeah, but I think also it if we didn't have Prince of Persia, I don't know if we'd have the Assassin's Creed games. I think it
Yeah,
helped set the future, and it was the foundation, I believe, for Assassin's Creed. So if it wasn't, I think, for Prince of Persia, I don't think we would have Assassin's Creed. So
I can agree.
a great game.
Absolutely. Yeah, fantastic game. Yeah, fantastic series.
So what about you? What's one of your games?
Yep. So I'll start kind of in the earlier aspect of the 2000s, but this game absolutely blew me away. It was a game I wanted for Christmas, didn't get it, got it a month later with Christmas money. And I remember that year we had 3 weeks straight of no school due to snowstorms. And all I did was wake up, would play in the snow, and play Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah. Oh crap! I completely did not think about Kingdom Hearts.
Absolutely. It is a phenomenal game.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't a big Final Fantasy person, but love Disney. We're me
Mhm.
and Ed, both of our wives, a lot of our friends are huge Disney people.
Yep.
So we love Disney, but being able to combine these two universes and create a very unique story combining all these places, going into all these different worlds from the Disney universe, absolutely blew my mind. I'm, if I remember, I because I 100% completed the game as a kid. I put about 78 hours into it
Oh wow.
and beat everything. I beat every single Coliseum, every single boss. I beat bosses multiple times. I had level 100 on every character, every single weapon, artifact, everything you could get. I had in that game. I absolutely love that game. This is before a lot of the walkthroughs and stuff because it's like the 2000 and
Hmm.
what 3 is when I was playing this. So I remember printing off guides from the internet that weren't even in color. They weren't from IGN or any of the big guys yet, and they were just text. So I had to scroll through this big printout page and burned up, all my parents' ink, all their paper, so I could try to beat Kingdom Hearts. And I absolutely love that game. I don't think the other two lived up to the first one. Maybe it's just the hype and nostalgia for me. I thought the third one had great worlds, but a terrible story, and I thought the second one was good, but the first one's just I don't know. There's something special about that game.
Oh no, the first one is amazing. I love the Kingdom Hearts game. So fun. I've only beaten the first one. I've played some of two. I think I'm actually probably halfway through two. Um,
Hmm.
three I watched my wife play because my wife is a huge Final Fantasy person. So and she also loves Disney a lot, just like us. She loves Disney, but yeah, Final Fantasy, Disney, it's two of her favorite things. So it's a game that obviously she's gonna love. So I mean, I
Definitely.
watched her play the third one, and it seemed like it had potential to be an amazing game, but it just didn't quite live up to the
The
hype. I
worlds were
guess. Yeah,
incredible, just the story just
yeah.
it wasn't as good.
But no, the first one, I beat it. I remember I had so much fun with it. Last boss was really hard. I'm pretty sure I rage quit multiple times.
Definitely.
I was like, this is impossible. How do you beat this? This is impossible to win. Um, but I finally did it, but it took me a long time. I remember that.
Absolutely.
But no, it's such an amazing world and amazing characters and like something never would have thought would have happened. Like Disney Final Fantasy, I would never think those two would mesh well, but
No.
they do, and it made an amazing story.
Mhm. And we'll definitely we might need to do a whole podcast episode about this series because they're the mainline games are good. The first one obviously being our favorite. And then there's so many spinoffs, but even like the music in the game, the detail, it it is an awesome game. It blew my mind as a kid. I still love going back and playing it now. It is an awesome game and just blew my mind as a little 12-year-old just diving in this game. And someone was blessing me with all the snow days because he gave me way more time to just jump into this game.
Oh yeah, no, that great. That is a very good start for favorite for games from that time from that.
Absolutely. That was the first one. So, what you got for number two?
Okay, number two, this game came out in 2005, in January 2005, and it is going to be Resident Evil 4, not
Knew
the
you were gonna say
yeah,
it.
Resident Evil 4. Such a great game. Resident Evil, it's a fun genre, shooter, horror genre, but Resident Evil 4, that was my favorite. It was the whole kind of you know, um, going into village, shooting zombies, super
Mhm.
cool as a kid, and also I felt like, I don't know, I felt tough, I guess, being a little kid playing this game that was
Heck
rated
yeah.
M, and me
Oh
being
yeah.
not old enough to technically play or buy it, but, I felt really cool, I guess, so there was that. It's just an incredible game. It's just like the story and just the it's not like your typical take on the Resident Evil zombies because they're not necessarily zombies. They are, but they're not. They're infected by this
A
plague, a
plaga.
parasite thing that's turning them because they still, in a sense, way have control, a little control, but not really. But it's such a cool story, and just like the weapons, I just remember I played that game so many times. I think I got to the point where I unlocked almost everything, and I was pretty much invincible. Like the zombies could not kill me just because of all the amount of hours that I put into that game. I have no idea how many hours I put into that game, but it was a lot, and the bosses were really really tough. Um, and I know the remake just came out. And I know we both played that, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, that's another incredible game that I think was very influential in the Resident Evil
That game came
game
out of
series.
nowhere and just redid the genre, redid that game series, and I mean,
Mhm.
it's universally accepted as one of the best Resident Evils, and I can't argue with that.
Yeah, no, super, super great game, super fun, and another one of those. If you haven't picked up the remake, go get the remake. A lot of fun. Um,
Definitely.
Definitely some changes in it, but really cool changes. So, yeah, and I just wish they would allow you to dodge. That'd be nice.
Oh man, I want the dodge mechanics so badly. I understand why they didn't do it. It 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 adds to the suspense, adds to that horror of it. I get that, but a dodge would be great.
Yeah,
Throw a little Dark Souls in there. Throw a little dodge.
yeah, especially these days, whenever every game has some sort of dodge feature. Like it's
Oh, I
just
know.
when playing the remake, I kept on wanting to dodge. I'd press the button that would not normally be
Mhm.
a dodge button, and it does nothing, and I just get hit, and then I
Oh,
die.
and I get whacked. Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
get
every
whacked, and
time.
they rip my head off, or, chainsaw guy cuts me in half, and then my
Oh,
guts
it's
are, like, flying everywhere.
everywhere.
So, yeah,
Uh, Good
die.
game. I knew you were gonna say that one. That is one of the since I've known Ed, which has been, oh, I don't even know, what, 13, 14 years at this
Yeah,
point. That's
that's crazy.
always been his favorite game. He's always brought up that game. That is by far, like, that is his game.
Mhm, mhm. Resident Evil 4. Boo-doo-doo. I don't know what
Good.
I'm just making
It's
random noises now.
it's okay. It's okay. I like him.
That's
I
what
like
Resident
him.
Evil does to me. It just makes me make random
You just get
noises.
that trance.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, let's get on to my second one then. So this one for me is a phenomenal game, one, but I think it again was a revolutionary game that created a lot of games that we know and love today, and just redid a genre, and that is BioShock.
Man, you gotta be kidding me. That was gonna be my next one.
Okay, yes. Was that the one you were thinking of that you said I was going to say it too?
No, but that
No,
worked.
okay.
No,
You
so
know
there's
what? That's
another
fine.
chance,
We'll
but
we'll combine that into one,
yeah, we'll
and
combine
then
it into one.
we'll both talk about BioShock, and then I'll do my number 3 after this, and then we'll move on. So, BioShock is absolutely incredible. That
Yeah.
game came out, and it was an Xbox exclusive at the time, and I did not have an Xbox until the 360 in, like, 2010. So I played it on my parents' not gaming PC, and would sit there in the dark and play this game, and no, that game is crazy. It's eerie. It's creepy. It is phenomenal. The sound is incredible. The world they created in Rapture is just
Oh, yeah.
astronomical. It is so awesome. What? Why was this on your list, Ed?
No, same. It's just I love the kind of the horror, the dark. I don't know. It's just a darker game, and just it's really creepy. Like it's not like super scary, but at the same time, it is. It's just I love the I don't know the enemies and just like just so creepy, and that's the music, and then also just the fact that you're underwater because just when I'm at an ocean or something, it's just there's that sense of fear because like I don't know what's under there, and the fact that you're under water to me adds another layer of just creepiness. But yeah, no, it's just such an incredible game. But just I love the story, just the lighting on that game's amazing. It's just an incredible game, as you said. I just an incredible game. I love it. And then just being the upgrading of your abilities is such a really cool thing too. So much thought went into that game. Such an incredible
Oh yeah.
game.
No, I absolutely love that game. I thought the whole series was incredible. I thought they
Mhm.
did an amazing job with it. Can't wait for the TV show to come out. I think it's coming out this year, actually. So something to definitely look forward to.
Oh yeah,
I did really, really, really want them to come out with another Bioshock. A little
yeah,
Bioshock 4 action, maybe another Return to Rapture.
yep. But no,
Ideas, but
all the Bioshocks are great. The latest one where you're in the sky was really cool. But then you know,
Bioshock Infinite, loved it.
yeah. But then at the end, you end up going back to Rapture, which was really cool.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler. So if you're watching it,
Uh-oh.
I should
It's a
have said that.
12-year-old game, so get over
Yeah,
it.
get over it. You should have played it. So you know what? Whatever. I don't care. Yeah. But no, such
Yeah.
a great game, great storytelling. It's one of those games though. If you play it at night, it's definitely gonna
Oh,
probably
it's
creep
creepy.
you out. But that's part of it.
I
So
I think it's one of those games that they nailed the environment.
oh yeah.
They nailed what they were going for. Even with, the engines and the graphics of
Mhm.
2007, they absolutely nailed it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that game is great. Just the thought process behind it and the world that they created, it's really hard to beat. It is a phenomenal game. I call it as close to a masterpiece of a game as you can get.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. Such an
Well, awesome.
incredible
Well,
game.
we got both of them. So, I mean, we had a match.
Oh
Before we
yeah.
started the podcast, he said that we'd have one match, but this wasn't it. So, I'm excited to see what the other one is a little bit later on, but I'm glad we at least had one
Yes.
match.
Yeah, no,
So
it's such a great game, so that's exciting. I'll leave the match for later. So,
okay. So
let
I'll go on to my number 3 then.
yep,
Um, so for me, number 3 is I'm a Sony guy. This game came out in 2009. The first game came out in 2007. It was good. I loved it. The second one absolutely killed it. A phenomenal game. That's Uncharted 2.
Uncharted. I'm not surprised you said that.
No, no.
I'm wondering if
Uncharted
you say
2.
Uncharted.
I
No.
loved Uncharted. Uncharted was a great game. Remember picking it up in high school. I loved it. Uncharted 2 took all of that and refined the controls, give you way crazier scenes and stunts. The opening of the game, if you haven't played it, you're literally climbing off of a train that's halfway down a snowy mountain that's about to collapse, and you're climbing up it to get off, and that's how you start the game. And there's just more and more of that, more crazy cinematics. Again, they tightened the controls, they made the shooting mechanic way better. Um, the storyline's better, the voice acting's better. I mean, this game they took the first one, which I thought was a great game, and just ramped it up 1,000 levels. They did a phenomenal job with it. It's still probably my favorite Uncharted game of the series. I think they balance the crazy set pieces, the crazy, stunts and everything with the great story, the great gameplay. You explore a lot more environments this time, so you're not just on one, drab island. You're seeing a lot more. So that game absolutely blew me away. Even playing in my college dorm on a little
Mhm.
20-inch TV back in 2009 when it came out, it's still incredible.
Oh, yes, 100%. It literally feels like you're just watching an interactive movie. That's what it feels like every time I play Uncharted.
Oh, absolutely. And I just beat the first one recently again. And I'm gonna play all the other ones as well. Uncharted 2, 3, 4, all again. There's a little problem called Tears of the Kingdom that's in the way right now. So
Yep,
I've
yep.
got to get through that one a little bit. Get to a point where I feel like okay, let me take on another game. The next game will probably be Uncharted 2.
No, that's a super solid game. That's definitely you introduced me to the Uncharted series back in college, and I agree. It's such an amazing series. I'd say it's one of my favorite for um for Sony for PlayStation. So yeah, an incredible game, 100%.
Definitely. Well, we've gotten through three, but I think we had a couple others planned. So Ed, if you want to knock out number four. What
Number
you got?
4. Okay, I'm still not gonna say which one it is. I'll save it for the next one. But for my number 4, I'm going to go for Gears of War.
Oh my goodness, that's my next one.
Wow, there's 2.
There's
So we'll
two.
we'll
Oh
we'll
yes.
combine that into one for both of us. But yeah, it's
Oh,
such an incredible story, and it's just I love the story. I have definitely cried playing that game, um,
hmm
in the fields, but it's such an incredible story. Just it's action, it's got emotion. It's such a cool take on like adventure, I don't know, shooter type games. It's really cool. Like just everything about that game is amazing. Just you can go and saw aliens
oh
that are
yeah.
invading and just like destroy them. Such a cool game. Um, and also, it's just I remember us playing up until 3 in the morning. The first
Oh,
one,
definitely,
right before I had to go on a plane ride, to San Antonio.
definitely.
Yeah, I remember we stayed up until 3 in the morning playing Gears of War, and it's such an incredible story. All the other Gears of Wars are amazing too. Like during COVID, we ended up beating the latest one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for
I
New
think
Gears of
we've
War.
co-op every Gears of War game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Gears of War is one of those that, we've co-opted. I'm sure if another one comes out, which I'm
Definitely.
definitely I feel they have to, I'm sure we'll
Yeah,
end up
they're going.
co-opting that game too. I feel for that
Absolutely. That'd
I
be the
feel
reason I buy a Series X. Would
Oh,
be if
yeah.
Gears of War was.
Oh, yeah. I feel that if we don't co-op the game that I don't know, because 'cause we've just done it. I feel like we'd be breaking tradition if we didn't
Can't
co-op.
do it. It's not I mean, we're definitely I will get a Series X if Gears of War comes
Yeah.
out. Absolutely. That game would be 100% worth it. But like you were saying, that game again, I think the 2010 era for me was the most revolutionary and kind of like the games that we love and know today
Mm.
really spawned from a lot of these games
Oh,
that
yeah.
were the first out there in these genres. And this one being a cover shooter, I mean, this took. I mean, Uncharted took some inspiration from this from a gameplay standpoint with the cover shooter. But
Mm.
Gears of War knocked it out of the park the first time when the game came out in '05, and they just did a fantastic job with that game. The graphics still, to me, even on a 360, hold up to this
Oh
day.
yeah.
Gameplay is great. They definitely tightened up the controls and made it better as time went on. But that game, I remember playing it at a friend's house back in high school, and then I didn't own an Xbox till later. But in college, a bunch of other people did, so we used to play that game all the time. Me and Ed, when we were roommates, used to co-op that game. I know in one summer we played 1, 2, and 3 all back to back to back.
Oh yeah.
Um, and just absolutely love it. But that game, I think, is set up again. I think a lot of our games have really either set up games that we, um, you know, like going on and going forward, game
Mhm.
styles, game types, or game series, but also games that really like paved the path for games now
Oh yeah.
that we wouldn't have or wouldn't be at the level they're at without some of these games.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. I feel like just that era, it's set up. Just it's the foundation for so many games that we have
Yep,
today. So if it wasn't for all these games, like we wouldn't have all these amazing games that we have now. So, yeah, I think Gears of War. It's one of those games that
love it.
love. Yeah, no, love it, and also just seeing the character development throughout all the games, especially with Marcus, and just kind of seeing how he's grown.
Good story.
Yeah, such a great story.
Great story. Great side characters too.
Oh yeah, like it's one of those games. Every side character has is like you get attached to every single character, and it's that doesn't happen with every game. But with Gears of War, they know how. They have the magic touch. Like every side character becomes important to you, and you see them as you see who they really are because you get to really learn who these people are and kind of just like what they're
Mhm.
going through and just it's no an incredible game. Like I'm sure there's much more we could say about that game, but yeah,
Definitely.
Gears
That'd
of
be
War.
maybe another podcast
Yeah,
idea.
yep,
So
another
there's so
podcast
many games
idea
we want to
there.
talk about in depth, but this is more of a games that we enjoy and talk a little banter about each
Yep,
one.
yep.
But so I mean we had a shared one. So what's your last favorite?
Okay, my last favorite, and we might it might be shared. I don't know, but this is one I was
Mhm.
thinking. But if not, it's okay because we've had multiple now. I'm gonna go with Batman: Arkham Asylum.
Oh, you know what? That game did not come to my head, and I kind of regret it because that is a phenomenal game. But that was not one of my games.
Yeah, no, it's such an incredible game. One, I know we both love Batman. Batman's awesome. He's
Hmm.
way better than Superman. So
Always.
for all you Superman lovers out there, Superman's yeah, he's poo poo. He's a poser.
Yep.
He's just I don't know. It just Batman's awesome. He's just a rich millionaire with a really cool backstory, who, in my opinion, will always be able to beat Superman. But
I
anyways,
mean,
that's
he has,
yeah, and
but I mean, it's fine. No, he's beating him. He doesn't have superpowers, and he beats
yeah,
Superman.
he
So
beat
I mean,
Superman.
it's
Like
fine.
it just shows you don't need superpowers. You just need money and
That's it. You
a
need
really
money.
dark and a really sad backstory.
That's it.
Um,
Yeah, your parents got to die in the alley.
yeah,
That's about it.
but no, I'd say like there's a lot of superhero games that have come out, but I think the Batman series is one of those that's to this day probably still my favorite superhero video game. Like Arkham Asylum and then all the other Batman games that have come out are just amazing. Just the fact that you get to be Batman and just an amazing story, and you have these iconic voice actors from the animated series that are in the game, and it's such a cool environment. You know, you're in Gotham City in the asylum, and then eventually it led to this open world where you're literally just going all throughout Gotham and doing whatever. It's such an incredible game, and just one of those games too that I just remember I'd stay up hours just playing.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if you want to talk about it too, you're more than welcome to talk about because I know that's another you love the Batman game as well. So
Oh no, I mean, I love that game. It is an absolutely fantastic game. Um, the whole series was just incredible. I
mhm.
Superhero games were either absolute hot trash and
Oh,
garbage, or they were good at that time. You had some really good licensed games that came out, like PS2, GameCube era. There's some pretty decent Batman games, but nothing that compared to the sprawling world, the amazing graphics. Again, another game that stands the test of time. You put
Mhm.
this game in right now, and it looks incredible.
Oh yeah.
Still, 14 years later, I mean, it looks absolutely incredible. Um, I, I don't. Again, another podcast we could talk about is
Yeah.
super in depth. There's so much to talk about it, but again, influential game, phenomenal gameplay, amazing graphics, phenomenal voice acting. Let's
Oh yeah.
not look over that. The voice acting is incredible.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, the villains are incredible in that game. How they've branched that off into the three mainline games and then two side games. Had a whole comic series. I mean, it was a revolutionary thing for Batman. I think it really kind of helped boost, especially DC and like the superhero genre. Because at the time you had like the Marvel and everyone's getting on the Marvel bandwagon, but
Mhm.
then you've got this incredible game that I don't think any superhero game has gotten close to that
Yeah.
hype or close to how good that game was since.
Oh yeah, no, such an incredible game. It to this day it still holds up like story wise, graphic wise. It's an incredible game. And it I feel other superhero games have tried to be that,
Hmm.
but it just they failed miserably.
Oh yeah,
So such yes, that's one of those games that I haven't played in a while, but I know it's one of those I could play it again. It'd probably be like I'm playing it for the first time. There's just so much to do. That might be one of those games that I just play soon. Maybe after
me too.
Tears of the Kingdom, I might just try going through the
Me too.
Batman games because it's been
I've
a
got that on my docket too, so maybe we'll do a little collaboration together
yeah, yeah,
and play together and figure that out. So,
oh yeah, and wear a Batman suit while you're playing it. You got to wear a
oh,
Batman
I mean,
costume.
obviously, I mean,
Obviously,
how is he supposed to play that game?
there is no other way. Just Batman would
That's
be
what
great.
I'm saying.
Yep,
That is
my
exactly what I'm saying.
so and then drink some I'll drink something out of my Batman mug that I have, so, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
And then maybe
Uh,
I'll use my hook my grapple thing that you gave me for Christmas and try to scale some buildings and be Batman.
Definitely. I just don't want to be there because I don't want to be the one to explain to your wife that you're in the ER. So you can do that when I'm not there.
Yeah, but it's okay, it'll be worth it.
Exactly. No, it's fine.
Anyways, what number was that on games? I've
This
already
is
lost
this was 5.
Okay. Okay, so
This was 5.
what was your 5?
Okay, so this one's kind of a weird one. So I had another game on here, but it ended up releasing right at the end of '99, so I got to take it off. Shout out to Pokemon Gold, but could say Crystal, but I didn't play Crystal. I played Gold. That came out in '99, so can't use that one. But in that time frame, again, we were talking about licensed games. They were better then. They were a lot more. There was a plethora of licensed games at the time. But I was a huge 007 fan for games.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the one that I really enjoyed the most was GoldenEye Rogue Agent.
great game. I
So
didn't even think about it.
phenomenal game.
I didn't even think
It
about
was
any of the Bond games.
oh yeah, I mean, I loved them all. Nightfire was great. That used to be, um, a sleepover, people coming over, stay up all night, play Nightfire,
Mhm.
four little screens on the 27-inch tube TV
Uh,
that I had in the bedroom. But
oh, yeah.
uh, that game is great. But GoldenEye for me, Rogue Agent, uh, I played that one a lot more single player. I think the addition of the Golden Eye that you get with all the different power ups and um, different things you can do with that, plus the gameplay.
Mhm.
I thought it really branched forward the 007 genre. I think this is one of the last, in my opinion, really good 007 games in the first person
Oh,
style.
yeah.
Because they did have the third person come out. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was one with Pierce Brosnan. Um, but
Uh,
yeah, I mean, I love this game. I played this one a bunch as a kid. I need to go back and play it again, see if it really holds up to the test of time. Since I haven't touched that one in probably 20 something years,
oh,
but
yeah.
great game.
No, I agree. I had that game. I never beat it. There's just this one level, I can't remember where, it's towards the beginning. Every time my game would just crash. I don't know why. It just couldn't handle everything that was going on, but
Mhm.
I never beat that game for that reason. But it was really incredible. It was super cool from what I do remember playing because I never got to beat it because my
Yeah,
copy, I don't know why, it just didn't like my console or my console didn't like the game. But yeah, I do remember. Yeah, you had different abilities that you could do. Um,
Mhm.
such a great game, but there's so many great Bond games out there. That was I yeah, we both also found we both love Bond games. It's just fun. You
Absolutely.
got to be James Bond, you got to shoot people, you got to drive cars and do all this really cool stuff. I remember I'd spend hours just playing Bond games whenever I had them.
Ab
If a Bond game came out, I was either gonna you better believe that I was renting it or buying it.
Oh, yeah. That was always whenever a new one came out that was on my list. I usually got like one game a month, one every other month, just
Mhm.
depending. Um, and that was like whenever a Bond game came out, that was my game. I didn't care what else was coming out. James Bond game's coming out. I want a James Bond game.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
renting it. I'm buying it. Whatever. So
Like,
I didn't even realize they released a Nintendo DS version. That probably isn't that great, but
oh,
hey, maybe we need to explore that one too. So
yeah, maybe. If they ever
maybe.
maybe, but if they ever do come out with a Bond game, I'll
Mm,
probably have to continue the tradition of just playing it, even if it's hot garbage,
absolutely.
but it's Bond, so
I loved them. That was the era of Bond games
oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
100%. Such great game.
Definitely. But man, we talked about a lot of awesome games. I know there's plenty of others. I'm thinking of a bunch off the top of my head, but
Oh, yeah.
those are kind of the top five that really stuck out to us. They either had some sort of meaning, inspiration into, our friendship, like we've talked about,
Yep.
or our gaming likes, dislikes, and really what we feel shaped the way for gaming
Mm.
uh, to 2023 and beyond. So, but we got a few more minutes left.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the games we didn't like.
Yeah.
What's a game that you were hyped for, that you were excited, a little kid Ed is giddy, and you didn't like it?
I'm trying to think. I've got one. Hold on. I gotta remember when it even came out because I can't. Um, you can go first. I'm trying to think.
Okay. So I've got two. One's kind of mid 2000s. So in that time frame, I was huge into video game magazines, Game Informers, all of those, and I would just sit there and read about these games and just read about them, get hyped for them, get excited. There was one game that was really hyped on PS3 when it came out. It really showed the six-axis control, which is that motion control in the controller that ended up not being that great. And this game was really kind of the prominent force of this game. The game is called Layer. So I don't know if you've heard of it, Ed, or not.
I have never played,
Okay.
but I have
So
heard.
it's a dragon game where you use the six-axis controller to fly your dragon around and do all that for PS3. It was a PS3 exclusive, and it was terrible. I remember being so hyped for this game. I went on launch day, on the day it came out, to GameStop, and I lived in Guam at the time, so I had to drive all the way to the only GameStop on the island at the time to go get it, and came back, spent my $60 on it, put it in, played it for about 2 hours, and I've never played it since. The controls are terrible. It does not work well. They've come out with patches a few months after that for just analog sticks. But at the time, if you bought it on launch day, you were forced to only use motion controls to control the dragon. And it was terrible.
Every once in a while, you're just gonna get a stinker.
It happens. It
It hap
happens. You get a stinker, you learn from it. People talk about it. It's one of those games I really want to go back and try to play again. I was actually watching a guy on YouTube. He's a big PlayStation YouTuber, Mystic, and he actually revisited the game and talked about the backstory of it and talked about his experience. And he had the same thing. He played it for a few hours on the day it launched, didn't play it again until recently, and pretty much said it still sucks. So, um, definitely a disappointment. Game got a ton of hype, kind of let us down. But what do you have, Ed?
this one it came out like it's one of those that I thought of while you were talking. It's really came out 2011, but it's still a horrible game. So
Yep.
I'm gonna mention it, and
Really?
that's Duke Nukem Forever. Um,
Ah, yes.
Cause I love the Duke Nukem series. The ones that came out were really fun. Those are other incredible games that I really enjoyed as a kid. And whenever I heard that we were roommates when this game came out.
Yep. Yep.
I remember I was hyped for it. I was like, "Oh snap, Duke Nukem coming out! This is gonna be great." I remember probably I think I rented it at Hastings,
You
probably.
did. You
Yeah,
did. Yeah, it was a rental.
and I remember I started playing. I remember you sat and watched, and it was just hot garbage. It was
Bad.
horrible. The story for Duke Nukem, it's already like a cheesy story, but this was just really, really bad. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it besides it was really bad. I could not. We maybe got 15 minutes and 20 minutes into the game, and I was like, I can't do this. This is
It's
not
so
good.
raunchy for no
Oh yeah.
reason.
Like I
They had no, like, filter on that
yeah.
game.
Like
Ugh.
I don't mind raunchy games, but that was just it was too much for me. That's yeah, that's
Because it didn't make any sense. It
yeah,
wasn't
no.
adding anything. It was just
It
raunchy to be raunchy for no reason.
oh yeah. Yeah, no, it was really bad. It just they tried way too hard on that game and it was yeah, it was a fail for me. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I can play it again. I'd probably still be like, nope. So that's
Nope.
one of those games I'm just like, nope.
Absolutely. And that game was in development for a long
Oh
time. I
yeah.
think that was just on and off in development for, like, almost a decade.
Hmm.
So that game was worked on forever, and they released that. And you could tell that it was on and off, went through a bunch of changes. It just did not hit. And then on top of that, if you don't like the story, you don't like the character, whatever, the gameplay was also terrible. So you got this game that there's really no redeeming qualities to.
Nope.
There's not good voice acting, there's not good humor, there's not good set pieces, there's not good anything. It's just a bad game.
Oh yeah.
But I remember the hype. You were super hyped for it. We were all hyped for it, but there were some whispers on, hey, this game might not be that good.
Yep.
And those whispers were definitely right.
100%. Yeah, because it's just I love like I said, I
Uh,
love the old original Duke Nukem games.
mhm.
Really fun. I remember friends coming over and playing that, but and I was like, man, this is gonna be another. This is awesome. Yeah, no, it was not.
Not. Yeah, that was for sure. That was a big disappointment. Absolutely. It sucks that you get these games, especially they get in development for so long. People spend a lot of time on them, and you can just tell that they just weren't given the direction or resources to make a game that
Hmm.
it should be, especially for revitalizing a franchise.
Oh yeah.
Um, like Duke Nukem, which was a big influential franchise of the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Um, but they didn't do it justice, they didn't do it right, and now you haven't seen a Duke Nukem game since.
Oh yeah.
So
Duke Nukem, I think, is long gone.
at this point, I'm gonna say it is.
Yeah, but
But
you never know. Maybe they'll.
hey, maybe, who knows? Maybe 2030, 2032
Yeah.
might get another Duke Nukem, and hopefully they can figure out how to nail that one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like it's not.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens, but I think Duke Nukem is he's gone.
Absolutely. Unfortunate, but man, I think that's about it for today's podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. This has been absolutely fun to talk about some different games. Tune in for next episode. We're going to talk about 2010 to 2020
Oh
top games,
snap!
which again is going to be another incredible, really hard choice.
Oh yeah,
We're also going to throw in our worst. I have a second worst on here, but I'll save that one. It was like in the like 2010, like the summer of 10. So I'll throw it in for next week just so
sounds good.
uh,
Sounds good.
I get something for that. But man, look forward to it. As always, it's been great. I'm Stuart. That's Ed. Peace
Let's
out.
go. Peace out.